Zane Turner has been one of South Devon's leading young boxers for a couple of years now. Starting when he was just 9 years old, he rose through the ranks of amateur boxing, winning belts along the way. In May of last year, he decided it was the right time to turn professional. He's had one fight since then, along with being plagued by injury. It's been a tough road, and Zane knows how important his family has been in this process, especially his dad and coach, Paul Turner.
Yeah, I started when I was 9 years old, 10 years old, I started training. And about 6 months maybe after I started, he started volunteer helping out at my old boxing club. It gave me the push to prove to him I could do it, and the fact that he was there pushing me, it made it more of like a family sort of bond in a way. And when I started, my younger brother Taz started. So when I started, he was young when he started though, and the same with him. He ended up being national champion and stuff, so it helped us both out in the long run. My first bout was age 11, and it went up to the age of 21 when I signed my pro contract. I had 2 or 3 offers before the age of 21 to go pro, but I wanted to give myself a little bit extra in terms of senior exhibition bouts, senior matches. I wanted to prove to myself that I was up to that sort of level in terms of age, because I knew as soon as I turned pro I'd be fighting anybody from the age gap of 18 up to 35, 40 for example, with the career that they might have had as an amateur and a pro. So I wanted to make sure I was physically and mentally ready for that gap and that step up.
So you think giving yourself the extra time helped?
Yeah, I think I needed that little bit extra building into sort of thing. I needed to mould into a man sort of thing from a boy. I was always training hard throughout all my years as a kid and stuff, and throughout the amateurs leading up to the age of 21. And even when I got to the national finals at 18, I was still training at a level where I was sparring adults. So I was sparring adults from, for example, the age of 13, 14. But it's different sparring in a local gym with a friendly environment to going into a competition against someone as a pro, for example, at the age of 18, and they're mid-20s, and they've got that manly sort of structure while I'm still building up. So I thought that a few years sort of thing to build into it wouldn't hurt, and I knew when the time was right, then it would be ready.
So what do you want to talk to us about? This is our lovely family!
How annoying he is!
Paul Turner is Zane's main coach, as well as being the owner of Warriors Boxing Gym in Torquay, the gym that Zane trains at. They also help each other with coaching the members of their gym. Their close relationship as father and son has helped Zane immensely on his journey as a boxer. Paul remembers how the journey started.
Yeah, a friend of his asked him to go along to a boxing club called Torquay ABC. He went along, thought he'd do a couple of sessions and give up, but he didn't. He just carried on. Said he enjoyed it. His mate gave up pretty much within about 6 months, but he carried on, and he just progressed from there. Got better and better and better. Became into the ABA finals and all the rest of it. It's good.
So do you think there was a particular moment where he thought, this is what I want to do, like as a career?
Only within the last couple of years, yeah. Once he left Torbay and he started at Warriors, then his whole boxing changed. It went from being sort of robotic, and he got his own style and found his own way from there, and he just progressed and he's getting better all the time.
Having worked together from the very beginning, there is a fantastic understanding between Zane and Paul. This relationship has undoubtedly been a help with Zane as he looks to achieve his goals.
He can talk to me about anything, whereas some trainers you go to, they're not your friends, they're not your family, they're just someone that stands there, shouts to you and tries to get you motivated. Where he can come and talk to me about lots of different stuff, anything. So no, that's fine.
Zane knows the importance of having good people by your side. Good sponsors who are good people can be even more valuable. This has meant that Zane has had to choose carefully when it comes to who takes up this role. One of these select few is Steve Flowers.
I've been coming to the Warriors Boxing Gym for just over 2 years, and obviously I got to know him through the boxing gym, and he started his pro licence, and I decided to do a sponsorship with him. I wanted to get more involved in boxing as not just my training, but I wanted to get as much involvement as I could. Zane's quick, he's fast, his hands are fast, he moves differently to, even when you watch boxing on TV, his movement's very natural. And I felt, when I saw that, and just messing about in the ring with him, it was like, this guy could do something, you know, so there's that as well.
After a successful amateur career, Zane decided to take the next big step and turn professional in May 2017. Zane had been waiting for the right moment for his entire career, so this was a big step for him. However, it was almost 9 months, due to injury, before he got in the ring for the first time as a professional.
The first pro debut fight was against Darren Snow. He wasn't intended to be my opponent for that night. My opponent got changed the day before due to medical reasons. So he had to step up. My tactics completely changed because of that. So I had a plan, I had an idea of what I was going to go out and do. And due to the fact it changed, I had to rethink of what the plan was. I had to re-change everything to suit that style of boxer. He also had a lot more fights than what my previous opponent was meant to have. So my previous opponent was meant to be his debut as well, so it was going to be a fair and equal matchup. But Darren had a bit more fights, he had a bit more of a career already started, sort of thing. And it gave me that little bit more buzz to prove that I can actually compete with people who have been on the circuit for that length of time and already had a career sorted.
Everyone thinks that it's all just the person that's boxing, that's in there in the ring taking the punches and all the rest of it. It's not. The coaches feel it. Everyone, you think you're in there with them. So when you're all the build up to it is not just nerve-wracking for him, it's nerve-wracking for everyone that's around him as well. That's friends and family. They all feel the same way. So, but he went in there and made it easy work of it.
What was that feeling like?
Oh, there's no feeling like it. It was something I've been looking at from the first moment I stepped in the gym, thinking I want to be on the biggest stage. And from my first amateur fight up to my first pro fight, it was a constant build-up, and it was a dream for me in a way, just to make sure I can actually accomplish that, and I can actually say to people, I made it. I made what I wanted to do. I've reached my goal. And the feeling just having my hand raised after stopping Darren Snow was incredible.
Little did Zane know that his first professional fight might also have been his last. How long was it after your first pro fight that you found out about the cyst?
As a pro boxer and pro athlete, you have to do a yearly medical. And my medical after my pro fight was roughly 2 months afterwards, which I had to go up to Spires in Liverpool. And I found out after I got medicals, you have to go for MRI scans, blood tests, the full lot. Probably 2 weeks after that, so in total just over 2.5 months afterwards, I found out about the cyst on the brain. We've actually narrowed down what it could be. Cysts are self-made and self-curable. So for me, it could be gone now, or it could still be out. It was just one of those I need to now find out from another scan, which I've got in the next few weeks. We've narrowed down. It's not from the boxing or from the sport. To be fair, I don't get hit too much with the sport, so that's how we know it's not from that, because I've had no heavy head contact in the sport or inside this sort of game or inside the ring. What we've actually narrowed down to is snowboarding. I went snowboarding on a family holiday, which I was going down a hill, and a simple mistake was I hit a lump of ice. As I hit the lump of ice, the board clipped into it, and the board flipped. And as I flipped, my head hit the floor. The helmet ended up snapping off, and I hit my head a few more times rolling down the hill, which I actually lost memory for about 30 seconds to a minute from before what happened to that. The only way I realised that it was from that was I was actually recording at the time on a GoPro, and that's how we realised that it was from the lump of ice. But for about 3 or 4 days afterwards, I was getting major migraines, headaches, dizziness. So it was like a minor sort of concussion in a way as well. And that's the only head contact we've had since I've started the boxing. Nothing else. So that's what we narrowed it down to. Oh, it was a horrible feeling. I was at work at the time with my dad, and got a phone call from my mum. Because he was up the ladder doing something, I put it on loudspeaker so he could speak to her. And the first thing she said was, I've got a letter back from the boxing board and medical to do with Zane. And he shouted down, okay, well, what's up? And then she said on loudspeaker, oh, he's got a cyst. Straight away, obviously it was on loudspeaker, and I was like, oh shit, great. Oh damn, I didn't know what I meant sort of thing at the time, but I knew it wasn't good. So Dad's reaction was, what do you mean he's got a cyst? What does that mean? What does the letter actually say? And they put on the letter, for the time being, his licence has been put on hold due to medical purposes, and we're going to have to wait for the outcome. My heart, to be fair, my heart dropped. As obviously it was like it was a dream sort of thing of mine to compete as a pro athlete. For me to hear that news was a major sort of like stick in the back sort of thing. I wasn't expecting it. I was training hard, all that stuff. I just had my medical renewed, and I was waiting for fight updates. And I actually had a fight in 3 weeks' time before I heard that news. So for me, that was a major blow on the career. And I don't actually know who reacted more, to be fair, me or Dad, to be fair. I was sort of shocked, where Dad was more sort of angry in a way, sort of thing.
It's frustrating because it's the NHS system. He might not even have it anymore, but to do with the NHS system, they're dragging their heels and that lot. So now he's got to sort out private. If they just re-X-rayed him within a month or 2 months, he might have been gone and there's no problem. But you just get frustrated because there's no answers still. So we're still literally waiting. He's now paying to go private and see if we can progress from there.
It's not only Zane's friends and family that have been affected by this news. Everyone around him has felt the impact. Even people who have not known Zane for too long.
Gutted, yeah, absolutely gutted. He had one fight, it was February time. I was away, so I didn't get to see that. And then when I came back, I've been back for a while because I'd been away, he told me, and it's horrible, to find out. And it's been one thing after another, that's happened, and then there's been admin problems from the, British Border Control side and the doctor's side, so it's been very difficult.
The main concern is the cyst is in the centre of the brain, which I didn't really ideal, was a pretty rubbish place, to be fair. And what the medical staff and the box board are worried about is there's 2 vessels either side. So if the cyst is in the middle of the brain, for example, there's 2 vessels either side, blood vessels that touch the brain. They're worried if I get any sort of head contact again, it could then burst into the blood veins and cause infection, and then it can get worse from there, and then take a massive downhill roll from there. But I actually sent off footage of my brain scans and stuff to a doctor in Plymouth at Derriford, and they viewed the scans and they've returned a message saying they don't feel it's as bad as it's sort of made out to be in a way, and they're happy for me to carry on. There's no operations needed, which is a massive sigh of relief, and it's just one of those. I'm waiting again now to go to a private hospital to take it a little bit further, to then get back on the boxing board and push my career forward again.
I think he could do what he wants. I think that if he can, I always think if he can get the right sparring here, a right sparring around Plymouth and around Exeter or something like that, then he could, if the world's his horse, his oyster, he could go where he wanted to go. He has the talent. It's just if he can get the sparring and get himself, back in physical condition to box again, I don't see where he can't go. British level, beyond.
I think he should stay what he's doing because he's a good boxer, a good coach. So he should stay on what he's doing. But when you've got your heart in something and it gets taken away from you, you can just lose interest. It can put you the total opposite way. Hopefully it doesn't, but you never know.
I'll try my hardest. Sport is my life, basically. I've been brought up around sport and there's nothing I want to do apart from sport. So, yeah, if it's going back in and doing coaching, in the boxing or if it's football.
At the start of next year, I'll probably get back into the coaching side of it, just with the personal training for the time being. And then from there, probably progress into the full-time coaching again. Depending on how it goes, sort of thing. Depends on what happens with myself with the boxing, fights coming up, and how much time I got to give.